This is this process where companies eliminate managerial waste. For example, in your companies, do you find that most of your supervisors are sitting in meetings rather than serving customers? Maybe you can get some of your managers to actually start serving customers. They might learn the business a bit better too, right? Rather than being very important and sitting in that meeting and passing bits of paper around. Right? Maybe you can cut costs on meetings by using virtual meeting technologies. Maybe that's a way of making yourself a leaner organization. So I guess to summarize, the way forward is focus on innovation, focus on innovations that change the business model, focus on innovations that bring more of the consumer into the process, on the innovation side, and on the cost side, find ways in which you can make your organization leaner, not by telling people to go home because they don't have a job, by focusing on keeping as many people as you can, but making them do more productive things than they're doing currently. A final thought, large Japanese companies traditionally employ people for life. Now, what does that mean? It means that when the economy is growing, they're expected to be there for 70 hours a week. And when the economy slows down, they're there for 40 hours a week. All right? Now, I'm not suggesting at all that in Europe we adopt the Japanese management and employment culture, but thinking about ways in which we can keep our people within the company without losing them, but getting them to be more efficient, I think is clearly the way. Oh, one more thing. How many of you use a middle company to do a transaction? We call the middleman. So you use a broker or an intermediate company to buy or sell something. Right? Find ways in which you can get rid of that. Eliminate what we call intermediation. So try and do more direct sales. Use technologies which allow the possibility of direct sales. Because remember, with an intermediary, the intermediary's taken a cut. If you can get rid of that intermediary, you can then hang on to more of the revenues yourself. I think that's it. Oh no, one more. Outsourcing. Yeah? Get rid of those non-core activities, not your core activities. So focus on those things which you could get somebody else to do cheaper. But one word of caution about that is that when you decide to do that, you may end up creating your future competitors by teaching them about your business. So you've got to set the correct boundaries in that way. So I don't think all hope is lost. I think there are many things we can do proactively to get through this crisis. And I think by focusing on those things, innovation, cutting costs, disintermediation, I think there's a brighter future for many companies in this region. Any questions? Yes?
You talked about outsourcing, and the question is that how do you explain that contract manufacturers lose orders?
Let's just be clear so we're talking the same language. How do you define a contract manufacturer? Can you give me an example so that we don't...
It's a sub-industry that I'm talking about. It's EMS.
Right, yeah, so like Flextronics.
Like Flextronics.
Or Celestica. Yeah.
And they're losing orders. It's 30% of their orders are gone now.
Yeah, and they're losing it because the OEMs are not selling product, right?
Yeah, but maybe you can expect that OEMs will outsource more. That's what you said.
If you're a contract manufacturer, if you're Flextronics, if you're Celestica, and you're seeing your share go down, what's the rational strategy? Anyone? Or yourself, sir?
Still business from competitors.
That's the hard job. That's the tough job. The other one is to merge, to consolidate, right? So if I'm a contract manufacturer, I'm seeing my market share go down. My obvious response is to try and consolidate with my competitors to increase the supplier concentration. I don't want to use too much technical jargon here. So in these situations, become bigger because then you get more selling power in the market. But I think, do you work in EMS? Okay, because I mean, the people in the EMS business, electronic manufacturing services, making mobile phones, laptop computers, they've been trying for the longest time to move down the value curve, right? So they end up doing more of the design, so shifting from contract manufacturing to own design manufacturing, right? That's a long-term strategy, because by innovating new products, you then present Nokia, you then present Hewlett-Packard with a finished product based upon your designs, which is valuable. In other words, your intellectual property is involved. So once again, it comes back to this long-term innovative thinking, that developing innovation, new products, are the way you're going to survive in this marketplace. Any other questions? Is that time? I think it is. That's not typical of a masterclass either. We normally have an interactive experience at CEU Business School, but I didn't expect to see quite so many people here. Thank you for coming along. And how many of you are thinking about coming to CEU Business School? A few hands. Okay. All right. Well, as I say, this wasn't a typical learning experience at the business school, but if you do decide to apply, we look forward to seeing maybe some of you in the future. How many of you are alumni of the business school? Okay. How many of you have no connection whatsoever with the CEU Business School? Okay. Why not? We do want to build connections with industry, and do come see us, do get involved, because it's all about learning from each other. But again, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.